Hello. Welcome to our newly named, what is it, a vlog? Video?
Vlog,
Vlog, yeah. We're going to call this Live More, Lose More. We've been asking for a month and you're all flooded in your recommendations.
Yeah, you've been shit.
Thanks guys for no help at all. And then we thought about it yesterday. And it's pretty much some of what we talk about, lifting more weight and losing more weight. So we're going to go with Live More, Lose More. This one will be the first one on our joint YouTube channel now, the official Live More, Lose More YouTube channel. We're now going to look into doing podcasts as well. So, why not? We do everything else. So if anyone knows anything about doing podcasts, give us a shout. Because at the moment, I'm going to Google it, try to figure it out from there. And I think that's pretty much how you go about being the top podcast on iTunes. I think
we'll be selling ice creams from May onwards as well. So
and fake tan and some cream, and I think it'll be all sorts we can get into. But if people do know about podcasts, give us a shout. And if you want to sponsor us, buy us some equipment.
Even better.
Then that'd be
buy us a gym.
If you want to buy us a gym, just a lot of equipment. Yeah. If you do want to sponsor some equipment for these, get us a better camera and some sound equipment, give us a shout and we'll give you a shout out on every podcast and all our social media and stuff. We've got 9 people following, so we'll be
big time.
I mean, you're probably going to make millions off us. Right, onto this subject for this week. We're going to talk a little bit about something we come across a lot in our day-to-day roles, why people aren't losing weight. We can talk about the science and things until we're blue in the face, but still people don't lose weight consistently. Well, some people don't lose weight consistently, and there's reasons for that. Some of them will sound quite obvious, come through, but it's the truth, and it's not as complicated as you might think. So, sure, start us off.
Well, before we get into it, I suppose we'll probably go to what we've said in every other video. And some people just don't realise that to lose weight you need to be in a calorie deficit or an energy deficit. So the energy coming in through food and drink has to be less than the energy you're using up through exercise, day-to-day activity. That is the be-all and end-all of losing weight. What we're going to speak about after this is ways of doing that. But that is what you need to realise first off. Now, when people start a diet or are on a diet and it's not working, it's because it's not created that energy deficit. So if we take, there is some people following the perfect diet or what they believe is a perfect diet. So they're eating healthy. If you take people counting their calories, they're counting every single calorie and it is spot on, everything's accurate. Or take something like the paleo diet, which isn't, on paper, isn't a bad diet. Alright, it cuts out certain foods which may cause issues with some people, but on paper, again, it's a very healthy diet, lean protein sources, lots of vegetables, some fruit and things like that. Doing all this doesn't necessarily mean you are going to lose weight though. So I've had someone say to me, using MyFitnessPal or counting calories does not work for me. Now, it's impossible. If you are counting your calories accurately, the only thing that is wrong with that is that the calories are just too high. Now that happens because sometimes you can overestimate how much energy you're burning and things like that, and your starting point can be too high. So it's just a case of either dropping those numbers, depending on, say, if you're maintaining weight, drop them numbers by say 200 calories and see how you go. Or simply be more active either in the gym, so you may only train twice a week, train 3 times a week, and that just adapts them numbers. It's not that it's not working, it's just that the numbers are out, and that's just a process of assessment each week. And then we take something like the paleo diet. You may write a food diary down for 7 days, everything's accurate, and it looks brilliant. Healthy foods, but again, it's just not created a calorie deficit. So you can eat all the healthy foods under the sun. If it's not creating a calorie deficit, you will not lose weight. Anything you want to add on that bit before I...
The quick one you said about overestimating activity.
Yeah.
That's quite common with people when they're establishing their your initial calories and things like that. They use words like sedentary, light activity. I think people don't want to admit they've got a sedentary lifestyle, so they generally estimate their activity too high. As a goal to just be honest with it, and you'll probably be alright. That's what I find a lot of people do with that part.
Just even if you think you are active, just put mildly active or something, or it's always a starting point. That's all it is. It's not you will lose weight on this figure. It's literally a starting point to go from. You never burn as many calories as you think you are when you're training as well. I know you can get some pretty accurate monitors now, Fitbits, things like that. Going by the machines in the gym is a complete waste of time, in my opinion. I've never, for the clients that are counting calories, I've never really gone by Fitbits or machines in regards to what they're burning. So it's literally hit this figure daily, do this amount of sessions a week, whether that be 3 or 4. I've never really bothered about how many calories they burn in them sessions. If everything's going right, you carry on. If you maintain for a week, then it's simply a case of do an extra 15 minutes each session, or throw an extra session in, or be more active away from the gym. I think just looking at the calories you burn in a workout, one, it's inaccurate, and 2, it's overcomplicating it as well.
Yes.
Well, how many times do you get people, especially using MyFitnessPal, saying, what shall I put in for the...
for a circuit.
Yeah, for the training.
I've come to a class and I've done this, what do I put in? And it massively overestimates it. And to be honest, the variables between your sessions, so with Scott today, don't put it in. If you do 4 sessions a week, chances are, no matter what we're going to train pretty consistently once we've got a plan. We might burn an extra 100 calories in one. You're not going to burn an extra 700.
Yeah.
You're not going to create a huge calorie difference by that one work, unless you're doing some crazy endurance workout once a week, where you might, you're doing a 3-hour workout on a Tuesday and everything else is 1 hour. They're not going to make that much of a difference. So it's just the consistency. I know with the activity outside the gym, Fitbits and stuff like I mentioned there, great. I've got a lot of my guys now just aiming for the open steps.
Yeah.
Steps that's a good measurable sort of activity level. How much activity you're getting away from the gym entirely, just walking. But yeah, trying to estimate what I did it for when I rode a marathon. I figured it all out there on my height, my weight, my heart rate, everything like that. And that was about 1,600 calories. That was 3.25 hours of me absolutely caning myself. So you're not looking at these insane work. You come in the gym for 45 minutes to an hour. You're looking at 500 calories from 300 to 500. So the 200 difference there between your best workout and your worst workout isn't going to break your diet.
And if you think about your workout as just an hour period, it might be longer, but I don't know. Say you burn 300 calories and you think, right, I'm struggling to lose weight, I'm going to try and burn 350 in these sessions. If you're only training 3 times a week, over the week it's only an extra 150 calories. So rather than maybe just busting your ass a bit more in that hour, look at your total activity levels away from the gym over that week period. If you burn an extra 100 calories a day by just going for a walk a bit more at lunchtime, that's an extra 700 calories over the week. So we've always said, like, what you do in the gym or at home or wherever you're training is such a minor part of the overall picture, which is why more often than not you can't out-train a bad diet. because if it's only 2 or 3 times a week, it's very limited in what you're actually burning. Anything else, or shall I move on?
Yeah, move on for that. Yes.
Right, so hopefully that's covered that one. I suppose the next one is people who are on a diet but just aren't following it. So you've got two kinds of people. One are the people that just don't realise they're doing it. So I suppose you could call them the secret eaters. And you've got the other ones who just aren't following the plan. So I suppose a good example is, especially if you're working in an office, I'm sure you've had someone who's doing the Cambridge diet, which is a version of some of these shake diets. So they're meal replacement. So, oh yeah, I'm on the Cambridge diet. They'll have their shake in the morning and then they're just eating biscuits for the rest of the morning. They'll have another shake and then, I don't know, they're probably grabbing a bit of cake that's on the desk. And to be honest, they honestly don't realise they're doing it. So, and then they'll probably walk away and say, oh, well, that diet doesn't work for me. Well, yeah, because you're not actually on a diet. You're probably eating about 4,000 calories a day. So you've got those people, and this is where actually logging what you eat and what you drink can really help. Now, it doesn't have to be MyFitnessPal, like actually weighing everything, but just writing things down. Because if you have to write everything down you consume, one, you'll actually realise what you're doing and see where them calories are coming from. Or two, you won't have it at all. Because if you have to log and bring into Meal Pete that you've had a Mars bar in the morning and, I don't know, an ice cream in the afternoon, in your head you may not have even realised you was doing that. But the minute you write it down on paper, it makes you conscious of what you're doing. So again, it makes you realise where them extra calories are coming from, or you think, oh, actually, I'll probably better not have this. And that is consciously bringing your calories down as well.
I do one at the moment with a few people who struggle with that, with tracking and where they send me WhatsApps, send me a picture of everything they eat in the day. And it's amazing how many times you go, well, I was gonna have a Mars bar there, I was gonna have a pack of crisps, but I didn't when I took the picture of it, because it creates some sort of accountability. Yes. So you're actually seeing your message stream to me. It comes through in the last 5 pictures, and you're like, I shouldn't be eating that before I've even said a word. So like you say about just writing it down, there's that pen goes to the paper. You think, well, I don't want them to look at that because I know when they do, they're going to analyse it and go, this is where we can knock 300 calories.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, accountability could be a video or a vlog in itself. Often when you're accountable to only yourself, and it's only yourself you're letting down, then you'll have the takeaway, because it's only yourself. It doesn't really matter. You can forgive yourself pretty quickly because the takeaway tastes good. If you're letting someone else down, or if you're paying someone a lot of money to get you in shape, then sometimes that's what you need to stop you having the takeaway or going out on the bender or having the snacks when you should be having the snacks. But again, that's probably another video in itself. But so you've also, let's go to the ones that are on a diet but just aren't sticking to it. So Monday to Friday you might be on a diet and then you're just out on the lash all weekend, or having takeaways Friday, Saturday and Sunday. That's just not on a diet. But more often than not, those people actually know what they're doing. And sort of accept it to a point, don't they?
The little weigh-ins on a Monday become a confessional, don't they?
Yeah.
You walk down the little corridor where our little weigh-in room is, and they'll know. They know straight away that the damage you can do in a weekend will outweigh what we can do in a week sometimes, because we're aiming to give you a healthy way to lose weight. We're not looking to cut your calories to 500 a day. We're looking to cut them to give you a £2, £1, £2 weight loss a week consistently. So if we're sticking with that, and then you're hammering in 6,000 calories for 2 days, it's pretty hard to make up for that in a week. So even you can be as strict as you want on your diet. You can eat exactly as we tell you. I mean, if we were to write food plans for you for the week and go eat this meal, exactly the calories we wanted weighed out the lot, you could undo it all on a Friday and Saturday if you just didn't pay any attention to the processes and things to get around that.
Yeah. But I mean, every diet under the sun will work. So if we had, well, you can't see this table, you could probably fit 15 people around here. If you had a wide-ranging variety of PTs around here with probably strong views, all 15 could name a diet and argue quite passionately why it's the best one. The simple answer is it will only work if it creates a calorie deficit. And the answer to which is the best one is which you can stick to over a long, well, not even a long period of time, basically to get you to your goal. Because what works for Pete might not work for me because I don't like the structure or I don't like the types of foods. And it's exactly the same for the 3 people probably watching this video, that one might like carbs, one might be able to go without them, one might like higher fats, one might like to fast for the morning. So everything has its place. Meal replacement shakes, they have their place if they create a deficit and you can stick to them. Just don't tell people it's the only way of going about it. So everything works, but like we said right at the beginning, it must create a calorie deficit. If it doesn't, then you're not going to get anywhere. And you can actually gain weight on every single diet. So you can get fat on paleo, you can get fat on low carb, you can get fat on meal replacement shakes if you have 10 meal replacement shakes a day. So calories matter. I know it's boring, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think this week's been a bad week for hearing different diets for us, hasn't it? We've heard some great stuff this week. Some of it utter nonsense, nothing about calorie deficits, things like that. And others, I heard one that was a 500 calorie a day diet given to a lad who's 6 foot tall, 70 kilos, and active. Now, that's going to get him to lose weight 100% because he created a massive calorie deficit. You try living on 500 calories a day, it's not going to do your health any good, it's not going to do your mindset any good, and you're going to be in all sorts of problems. But what will happen is, he'll take a before picture. If you manage to stick to it for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, he'll go, I've lost 20 pounds, something like that. But then he's developed a whole issue with food and he doesn't understand what's going on. And there's a lot of eating disorders come out of it, very extreme diets and things like that, and it's a bold statement, but that happens. And that's why we sit here and we try and educate people as much as possible about the truth behind things. So you can see where you are going wrong. If you are following a diet and something is not working, what you need to do is reduce your calories.
Yeah.
Or what you're activate. That's like the end. Whether you do that by going, well, I want to cut down on my carbs a little bit because I find them easy to cut down on because I have a lot of rice in my day. So if I have half that amount of rice, I'll have cut down my calories. Brilliant. You don't have to exclude carbs. If you say I eat too much fat, I eat red meat, I can change that to lean meat. I can drop my calories there. That'll work. I have eggs and avocado for my breakfast. On paper and on Instagram, it's a brilliant breakfast. But if you're having 4 eggs and an avocado, you're smashing a huge amount of calories.
Yeah.
The key is understanding. And understanding where you can tweak it. I don't like writing food plans for people because people stick to them for a week, maybe a month if you're lucky. If you've got the foods they like and they like structure. I know myself, so we both like eating similar foods during the week because we don't like the stress of it. You just prep your food Monday to Friday, and we know what we're having. At weekends, if we're dieting, we'll have something different.
Yeah.
But a lot of people won't stick to the same foods every day. So we're trying to give you the information. You can make the decisions yourself. You can look at your own diet see what you consistently eat and see ways you can edge it away. It doesn't always have to be perfect. It's the old, the cliche of it's just got to be progress rather than perfect. And that's where people come undone. They go, well, I've not ate great this week, and give up on a diet. It's another one that goes massively. It's Tuesday, we've got a work event on, and I had some biscuits because I stayed late. So I got in there and I was fed up. So Wednesday I've got up and I've had crap. And it happens often, but it doesn't have to be like that. Don't panic. Don't stress yourselves out. Just, right, I've had some biscuits. If you want to go scientifically about it, see how many calories are in those biscuits, and then look where you can make it up later in the week. Or just look at some of your meals and go, well, I don't need to have this with that meal. I don't need to have this with that meal. And it's just making sensible options.
And that's just where the learning side of things comes from. So, you may diet once, it won't be perfect, but you'll learn from it and you can diet again and tweak where you possibly went wrong. If you're employing someone like us, we can educate you along the way. So, it'll never be perfect. Like, the next time I better not say that. If I do a bodybuilding show again, I will do certain things slightly different. Now, I was very, very lean on stage, but there are ways I would like to tweak things to just make that process a little bit easier. And it's the same for everyone. So we can hopefully educate someone rather than just saying, eat these foods. Because, let's go back to meal replacement diets and things like that. They are not necessarily a bad thing as long as that person is getting educated along the way. The only problem is that people selling them these shakes aren't educated enough themselves to educate the client. So as long as you say, look, this isn't long-term, it's a short-term solution to what we're trying to do, but the general rules of dieting are calorie deficits and things like that, and when you come off these, you will need to eat these certain kinds of foods and do this and that. There's no real issue with that. But yes, as long as you're getting educated along the way, as long as you know what to spot and what to change. So you can look at, if you have 3 meals a day, you can look at them and think, I need to drop some calories from here. So like Pete said, it may be a case of changing that higher calorie piece of salmon for a piece of cod if you want fish. Or that can be changed to chicken. Or some sausages can become a tin of tuna. You keep the protein roughly the same, but the overall calories come down. You can replace the carbs with some more vegetables. You can take some of the cheese out and replace that with more veg, so that brings the fat content down. So there's always ways around it. It's a case of knowing what to do, when to do it, and I suppose that's why people still need personal trainers now, rather than, because I think we said it in another video, all the information's out there for people. Knowing what to do with that information is a completely different thing though.
Yeah, there's literally the 1,000 ways to skin a cat. If you look at someone's diet, there's 1,000 ways we can knock off some calories here, there and everywhere. But it has to be something you're going to do. So rather than saying, eat this, eat that, eat the other, if you look at a meal and go, well, I don't need that, I can swap that, I need to be a little bit leaner, I can, like I say, add some vegetables and things like that, and make educated decisions, you're going to be great with your diet. You might have some weeks where you don't lose as much as you want because your decisions might not have been as great as you thought they were, but you learn from that. We're all adults now. Like you can decide what you're going to eat, when you're going to eat it, make that decision, stick to it, and make those little adjustments to your diet as you go through it, rather than, because it's great having a plan, but things change. Yeah. So when you know what you're trying to achieve, you get taken out for a meal at work, so you don't get to eat your Tupperware prepared chicken, rice and broccoli. You go out for a meal, you can make some educated decisions. You can go, right, well, if I have this without the sauce, I can knock some calories off there and have some side vegetables, I'll be fine. And that's what we want from our clients. I don't want people living to a strict food diary all the time. living to a strict, this is what you eat, this is when you eat it, that's how you lose weight. Then we've lost weight, we stop that and you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah, and I suppose that's where probably counting calories, even for a very short period of time, a couple of weeks, even if you don't need to do it, you may be losing weight without counting calories, but counting calories just makes you aware of what foods contain what. And when you are having to go off plan a bit, if you are eating out, you can look at certain foods and think, just give yourself a ball figure, that's a figure to have an idea of what you're consuming. I had a new client this morning, he started on Monday, and they had some fajitas last night. He had no idea how many calories were in a fajita wrap. He had 4 of them. When I told him, he couldn't believe it, because all he sees on his plate is a bit of bread about that thin, and he probably thought they contained about 10 calories. They can contain nearly 200 each. So yeah, just counting calories now and again will just give you that idea of what you are consuming. But just going back to the education side of things, all the education in the world means nothing if you just haven't got any willpower. So, like Pete said a minute ago, we are all adults. If you haven't got the willpower in yourself to not eat a bar of chocolate, or say no to a night out because some friend's nagging you a little bit, or whatever it is that's your downfall, if you've not got the willpower to do that as an adult, then it doesn't really matter. You can count you can weigh your water if you want. It means nothing if you don't really want to do it. And I suppose that's where, again, that's probably another video, in that don't start a diet until you're ready. At some point it will click, you'll be ready, you'll want to do it, and that's the time to crack on, rather than give me and Pete £300 a month in the hope that we will lose weight for you, because we won't do the exercise for you, we're too lazy. We're not going to diet for you because we like food too much. We can tell you what to do, but you'll have to do it yourself.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, I got a bit.
Well, no, I had a rant on my.
Got a bit emotional.
I had a rant on my Instagram which involved some expletives the other day, so I apologise to my mum about the same thing. Just being an adult about it and being open and honest, and like you say, we can't do it for you. From this, we've not give you any sort of massive, groundbreaking revelation of fat loss.
We don't know any.
We're just going to tell you the truth. I could come up here and go, right, you're going to eat liquid diets for the rest of your life and you'd all lose tons of weight and then you'd all be really ill. And then when you stop that, because it's not sustainable, you'd all put a load of weight back on, and then you come back to us and we put you back on a liquid diet, and then the circle will continue. Yeah. Whereas our ideal plan is we get you all to lose weight and then we stay in touch and we stay friends, and that's it. We don't have to keep putting you on these diets, because you'll understand it and you go through your nutrition yourself. So to wrap up, what would be your take home message for someone who's on a diet and struggling to lose weight at the moment?
Log everything, whether it's a food diary or MyFitnessPal. Stand up again. Hang on.
Putting the hours
there we
in here.
go. So yeah, just log everything for a week. Maybe not even a week. Write everything down, and then there may be some very obvious things that you can cut out, and if they are, then that's what you cut out. If you're counting your calories, just make sure it's accurate, and then again, that will show you what you could possibly cut out. If it's not, then you need to ask someone. But yeah, if I'm going to give you one take-home point, if you are struggling to lose weight, it's because you're not in a calorie deficit. Log everything down and find out why.
Yeah, well, I'd say the same thing. It's just being honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself when you're logging it. Write down actually what you're eating. How many people go into MyFitnessPal and go, I've had a potato, put that in, and then choose the lowest calorie potato they can find, and put that in. And you're like, well, that's not the one you ate. Just because that's what you put into MyFitnessPal, that's not the calories that are going into your body. Just be aware of that, and move a bit more. Get your steps up, track your food. You won't go far wrong. It'll click eventually.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, and you are being open and honest, then that's where we can tweak things and just calories. So yeah, nothing for you to go and post on Instagram and say this is the one secret to losing weight. A few little tips, and again, if you've got questions for us, send them through. We generally get them day to day and answer them on the spot. We're pretty bad. We should save them up for a video.
Yeah, if we're not getting a huge amount of questions, so if you have got any, and I'm sure you have got questions, if you haven't got questions, you wouldn't be watching these videos unless it's just to laugh at us, which is fine.
Yeah, we found.
But I'm presuming people are watching these because they need help either with their diet or with training. So please ask. And if we know the answer, which sometimes we do, we'll do a video on it.
Right. Speak to you all soon.
Dele Alli Wave.
I hope you have a good week, and Dele Alli Wave.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Ollie's don't know what Dele Alli is.
Yeah. That'll be the question.
Yeah.